Hello and welcome to this session, separated at birth, reconnected by curiosity. My name is Eli Park Sorensen, and I'm an associate professor in the College of Liberal Studies at Seoul National University. I was born in Korea, adopted as a child, and grew up abroad. So I think I speak from personal experience when I say that I think that one of the most haunting questions for many adopted people relates to the issue of uncertainty, perhaps curiosity about one's origins, biological parents perhaps, also one's country of birth, and also possible siblings. And I think all these things come together in a remarkable story about two twin sisters who were separated at birth and later found each other through the internet, and currently they're making a documentary. Let's watch the trailer.
Crazy story that happened to me a couple days ago.
I got a text message from Sam saying a girl just messaged me on Facebook and she looks just like me.
She's also adopted and was born on November 19th in South Korea.
My mom, she was like, "Do you think she could be your twin?" And I'm like, "I think so."
And freckle.
Yeah, she has freckles as well.
If you turn out to be not twins, it's going to probably be a disappointment for the two of you. So I think you just have to be prepared for that.
C'est vrai que là on dirait les deux, tu vois.
My God, do you guys look identical?
So I guess you know from the post-adoption worker who's been working on your case, they did contact your birth mother.
So crazy. It's like diving into a wormhole and going to a parallel space. It has nothing to do with anything you could have ever imagined.
Do you think we're identical twins?
Yeah.
You don't look upset about it.
Makes me really wonder how many other pairs are out there you would never have found in these if it hadn't been for the internet.
Okay, please give a warm welcome to Sam and Anais. Okay, well, thanks, Anais and Sam, for coming, and a warm welcome to both of you. I've read a lot about you, and I've also read your fascinating book. I want to start with this physical resemblance you share, and also which was the very thing that initially brought you together. Could you tell us about the first time you actually saw an image of each other, and also what kind of thoughts went through your mind at that particular moment? Anais, perhaps.
So the first time I saw a picture of a girl that looked exactly like me, I was on the bus in London. I was going to look for some fabric, and then a message just pops up on my Facebook page and someone says, "Oh, look, it's crazy." So I first thought, who just put a video of me on YouTube without telling me? This is rude. Then the second part is about a month later, we find out another video about that girl, and this time we can find her name, and that she was Korean, that her name is Samantha Futerman, and obviously she must have been adopted, but also that she was born 19th of November 1987, which is also my birth date. So I just called my parents and said, "Oh, do you remember that girl? Do you remember that girl I showed you on the video?" They were like, "Yes." I was like, "Well, she's born the same day as me." And my mom automatically said, "Do you think she could be your twin sister?" And of course I said, "Yes, exactly."
Right. Sam, how about you?
And then I got a Facebook friend request from a girl, and it was my picture. And I said, "That's so creepy. There must be some fan page of my friend Kev Jumbo of his YouTube channel." And then I accepted her friend request and got a message. And when the message popped up, I realized that she was actually a real life person. And I was just amazed, so excited that this seemed like the new adventure that I was going to be going on, and that we were probably twins.
Right. Well, in your book, you write about how your parents responded to the possibility of having a twin sister. Did you ever feel that something potentially dangerous or risky was at stake, or did you always wanted to go all the way to discover the truth, regardless of the consequences, Sam?
I mean, when I got her message, it wasn't fear necessarily. I was just so excited to go on this adventure, like we were saying. And there was no way that I wasn't going to explore this. There was no way that I would say, "Oh, that's just weird," and shake it off. I was just way too stoked to be going on something so exciting.
Right.
I guess my parents and I felt exactly the same way. You know, I related to giving birth to a child and discovering a new child entering the family. My parents were just too curious about Samantha and excited at the same time. We had to connect with her, and we had to send her a message to say, "Hi, we're here."
Right. That was important. In your previous interviews and also in your book, you often mentioned that before the reunion, you felt that something was missing. I was wondering if you could talk more about what you think this absence meant, what it entailed, and also how you feel about it now that you have been reunited.
Well, it was as strange as it sounds, and in the meantime, a lot of kids have this, but I had an imaginary friend. She was actually a sister, and she was called Anne. And it's kind of scary, but in the meantime, now I have trouble saying if it was because I was missing a twin sister or if it was just because I was raised as a single child, which, I mean, it happens to a lot of single childs as well, feeling lonely. But it's not a loneliness that could be filled with just being with other friends. So I guess it's a little bit of both, actually.
Yeah. It must have been a rather different experience for you, I guess.
Yeah, it was quite different. I mean, I was raised with two older brothers and my parents, and I think I was just way too busy trying to keep my brothers out of my room and to get away from my stuff to ever think that maybe there was something else out there. But I mean, now that we found each other, I'm obviously so much better and so much happier, but I never felt that there was anything missing.
Right. I want to talk a little bit more about your upbringing and also about your experience of adoption. You both grew up in families and communities of people who didn't particularly resemble you physically. How do you think this played a role as you grew up, Sam?
I mean, so
my older brothers and my parents are Caucasian, and I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood. And although I didn't look like them, I never felt out of place necessarily. And I'm not sure if I really understood the concept of not looking like someone else. I was never teased or anything like that. So I always felt really accepted. And growing up as an adoptee, it was just simple knowledge that I was adopted. It wasn't necessarily like it was a bad thing or anything negative. It was just a fact of life. Like, we go to school in the morning, we come home, we eat dinner, we wash our face, and then we go to bed. And I'm adopted, you know?
Right. How about you, Anais?
So I had about the same experience. My parents always told me I was adopted, and of course, because my parents both have blue eyes, so I don't look like them. At school, it was a little bit different because it was a huge Caucasian environment. But you know how kids are, they're just mean to each other kid, and they just play on the small, tiny differences. So to me, it would be, oh, you look Chinese. Everyone was like, no, she doesn't. And then some of my friends who were aware that I came from Korea just said, wait, no, she's Korean. Are you stupid or not? Like, Asia is a big part of the world. It includes so many countries, and Korea is one of them, and it's a beautiful country. And so they were fighting for it. But then, so I guess when you're a kid, it's fine. You're just being a kid.
Okay, right. Now, in recent years, adoption has become a relatively prominent theme in films, TV dramas, popular culture. Films like Juno and Philomena, also TV dramas like Sex and the City, Friends, House, and CSI. I was wondering, why do you think people find adoption fascinating? And also, what do you think about that in terms of your own experience of adoption, Sam?
I mean, adoptees now, we're at the age where we're actually speaking out and being kind of conscious about what it means to be adopted. And so that's why I feel like so many, it's becoming a main theme in media. And I love that. I love the fact that we're in narrative and documentary as well, and adoption is becoming a topic that's commonly talked about because it makes the awareness so much wider, and the acceptance level then goes up as well. So I think it's a really, really beautiful and exciting thing that adoption and the topic of it is now prominent in media. I think it's just wonderful.
Right. Well, you could say in the last 2 decades, a lot of adoptees have actually come back to Korea, sometimes to look for their biological parents or to find out information about the circumstances of their adoption. I was wondering, Anais, if you wanted to perhaps comment on that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's normal. I guess it's normal for any adoptee to want to go back to your own roots and know who you are and where you came from. And I think it's a beautiful thing to come back and try and discover the country. And as for us, as an example, we came back to Korea. We are really proud to be Koreans, and we discovered the country more and more. And I mean, we tried and looked. We already found each other as sisters, but we tried to look for our birth mother, and so far we've been unsuccessful. I guess because maybe we are ready and she isn't ready yet, which is totally fine for now. And I guess everyone should be in this sort of state where you don't know what might happen, but you should feel good about it. It's a good thing to come back to Korea and try and find where you come from.
Right. Well, simultaneously with many adoptees coming back to Korea, there's also an increasing public interest in adoption, Korean adoption in particular. I was wondering if perhaps Sam, if you wanted to say something about that, and also perhaps how do you feel about it now that you are in Korea?
I think the public interest about Korean adoptions, again, really, really exciting and wonderful to get our stories out there and to continue the acceptance level of it all. And it's really exciting to be back in Korea, and every time we leave with this overwhelming sense of pride to come from a country full of really, really strong, proud people, and especially really strong women as well. And it's wonderful to have public interest in the story and to just have a connection with any type of person, you know? And there's, no matter who the person is, what they're interested in, and people are talking to us about family, they're talking to us about being twins, about being adopted, or, you know, even technology. And we can relate to so many different people we've been able to talk to and create these new amazing, blooming relationships.
Right. Well, that leads me to my next question, which is also one of the key themes of this conference, technology. I want to talk a little bit more about technology and also the human dimension. Modern technology played a very big role in your reunion. Could you tell us how this happened?
So, I mean, if it wasn't about technology, we may have found each other, but it would have taken so much time. If Samantha wasn't an actress and if she wasn't doing some YouTube videos, then my friend wouldn't have seen her. Then I wouldn't have been able to connect with her on Facebook. I wouldn't have been able to stalk her on Instagram, Twitter, to know that she was real and she was a real person. So I would say that without the technology, this story wouldn't have happened, and we wouldn't have been able to actually look into each other's eyes.
What do you feel about or how would you describe the wider response to your remarkable story? Could you give us some examples from people you've connected with, Sam?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got an overwhelming response after we did, crowdfunding, like a Kickstarter campaign for the documentary. A lot of people reached out to us and say, "Hey, I love your story." And just because it was, a fantasy, like almost like a real life fantasy that was happening, where adoptees were coming up to us and saying, "Thank you for sharing your story. I really needed to hear that." Or they just wanted to share their adoption story with us after that. And it was really overwhelming and touching to know that we could affect other people in a really positive way. That was something that was really, really exciting for us.
Right. Well, having experienced a very uniquely personal dimension of YouTube and Facebook and Skype, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what you see as some of the opportunities and also perhaps challenges that this kind of technology create.
I mean, it gives you so many opportunities. You can connect with people every day. For instance, like I live in France, Sam lives in America. It's so easy for us to stay in touch, always talk to each other. I can wake her up in the morning. She would try and wake me up during the night, but I would put everything off. We can stay in touch every second, every day, any hour. And it's so strong, we just created a different dimension and we can communicate through that dimension. It brings so much.
The hardest part is probably like trying to pretend like I haven't seen her text message. If I'm trying to sleep, right, I'll check it, and then when she sees that I saw it, she'll just keep texting me nonstop over and over again.
In that sense, it's also revealing, I guess, modern technology. And it also, I guess, creates a whole new dimension of the notion of family. Well, what role does family play in your lives today? And do you feel that the concept of family has changed in any significant way after you've reunited?
I mean, I think we always believed that our family wasn't necessarily, a linear bloodline of people, because we're adopted, obviously. So we always knew that family was anyone who we choose to accept into our life, and that family has no boundary. And so I think after meeting, I mean, for me and my family, I think that just grew way, way stronger, and it extended. So we don't only have family in New Jersey or New York or California. Now we have family in France, and in Paris, and she has family in Italy and even in Korea as well. So it's just amazing. It's completely
really
extended.
A very extended notion of family made possible through technology, perhaps. Your self-produced documentary, Twinster, I believe will be released later this year in the US. I was wondering what you hope people will learn from this documentary, or perhaps understand from this documentary, Sam?
I think it's, the very notion that we just spoke about, that family has no boundary, and also that no matter what happens in your life, even the troubles or how great or how bad it can be, that there's never too much that you can handle, that anything may happen and you can go and move forward and find joy in anything.
Right, okay. Well, you've had a couple of remarkable and also very busy years. What are your plans from now on?
Well, I guess we're very connected, so we can allow ourselves to work. For instance, I'm working in France as a fashion designer, and Sam is being an actress and also film directing in Los Angeles. So I guess we'll still stay on each of the continents, but keep in touch. And also Sam has just created a foundation, Kindred for Adoption, which will bring us together quite often. Yeah, the Kindred Foundation for Adoption is an American nonprofit organization, and we aim to be the ultimate resource for adoption, to support organizations that are already doing amazing work and in place, so we hope to support them financially. And then also we're developing a grant program for DNA testing and to aid in family reunions. And then what we're most excited about, which is very pertinent to the digital forum, we're creating a chat messenger 24/7 online support community, so anyone in the greater adoption community can, ping in at any time and speak to a volunteer about trials, tribulations, guidance, or whatever they may need.
Right. And you just started this organization?
Yeah. It was just about 6 months ago, so it's quite recent. Yeah.
Right, 6 months ago. And how's the response been so far?
It's been pretty great. We've gotten a lot of people who are interested in volunteering, which is really, really exciting. And not only that, we've got a lot of requests from people saying, hey, I saw this and I don't even know where to start. What can I do? And so we try to, point them in the right direction.
Right, okay. Right, well, this conference is about curiosity. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts about what it meant to you, Anais, perhaps.
Well, curiosity. If it wasn't for curiosity, I would never have found Sam. And in the meantime, being even more curious, we wouldn't see the differences or the similarities we have together. And this is so interesting. We try and keep it going, and we're always amazed every day or surprised by how our environment can change us. Curiosity is everything. This is how we develop our own relationship every day together.
Right. Well, adoption, I guess, or I was going to say curiosity relates to adoption in a very direct way. Curiosity about one's birth country and all these unanswered questions that you ask yourself as an adoptee. But in your case, I remember while reading your book, I came across many passages in which you try to compare each other, and you were very curious about how much you actually resembled each other in terms of habits or personality and so on. Because it sort of leads on to a wider question, I guess, which is something that most people ask themselves: how much am I influenced by blood or genes, or how much am I influenced by the environment? What kind of thoughts did you have on that issue?
I mean, you're so right. It's like being an adoptee. you're naturally curious because there's so much that's unknown that we're either willing to explore or kind of not willing to explore. Like for Anais, when she found me, it's like you're curious and it kind of came upon you without ever knowing about it. But for us, we have the choice to say, oh, am I wondering about this or am I not? Or do I choose to explore it further? I mean, for us, for instance, we don't have much information about our birth mother or our birth father or birth siblings, but we still stay super, super curious about it.
Yeah.
And we're always wondering, you know, why? Of course, we want to know why this happened and why we were separated, but then we're also making the conscious decision to say, well, we don't know his side of the story, and who's to say that she or he are the same person that they were 27 years ago, and that the decisions that they made then would be the same of a person who they are today. And so we can't necessarily be angry or anything about our circumstances. And it's overwhelmingly emotional and also really exciting in a way, because we're always choosing to be curious about it.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess it's opening new ways and different paths. You can choose to follow or not, or that you're ready to follow or not.
Right. Because I must admit, when I was invited to this conference and I saw the title, Conscious Curiosity, I thought it sounded a bit paradoxical to me in the sense that, well, curiosity to me means precisely the opposite of being conscious. It's something that comes to you, in a sense, in a state of passivity. The unexpected, the unknown, not something that you can intentionally want or decide to be curious about. For example, when I read your book, the moment when you sit on the bus somewhere in London, and all of a sudden, among the millions or thousands of photos you look at on your phone, all of a sudden there's a face that intrigues you, makes you curious, and which turned out to be your twin sister. In that sense, I thought consciousness, or the title Conscious Curiosity, sounded a bit contradictory. But I guess, I mean, what you're saying is that, in a sense, you could also be consciously curious about, let's say, adoption. Yeah.
Or it's even like the click, when you're curious without knowing it, it's, you know, sprung upon you, and then all of a sudden you make the conscious decision to explore it and the conscious decision to actually click that profile link.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden it's
exciting.
Yeah, and it's an awareness that allows you to explore whatever's unknown.
You know it's there, but it's really up to you in a very conscious way whether you want to explore it or not.
Yeah.
We have to end here. I have one last question. What kind of message would you like to convey to the audience here today?
I think that family has no boundary, and really to love those people in your life and who matter and who care to you, even if you're in contact with them or not. I think it's really important to love the people who are in your life.
And please just be open-minded and be ready for anything to happen. Just stay curious. That's
right.
the most
Okay.
important.
Well, thank you so much, Sam and Anais. Also, thanks to the audience for listening. It was a great pleasure talking with you, and I really look forward to seeing your documentary. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.